And welcome to hour number 2 of the Memorial Weekend in Wheel-Time Car Show. Coming up, we continue our discussion about in-car infotainment systems this hour, focusing on the FCA UConnect system.
Your favorite.
It is my favorite, with the folks from FCA. We'll also have our Ram Tracks feature. We've got the stories making automotive news headlines this week. We got that and more in hour number 2 of this week's In Wheel-Time Car Show. Howdy along with Mike out of This World Mars down there. King Conrad DeLong here, Don Armstrong here. Glad you could join us. And it's been an interesting hour talking to J.D. Power about infotainment systems. And I've really, I learned a lot.
It really did.
But, you know, I had that kind of gut conquests in the industry, and especially in trucks. Because here was Ram at number 3. Ram is now pulled up to number 2, and they continue to climb. And there's a reason for that, I think. Not only do they build a great vehicle, but they also have this infotainment system that is probably, in my opinion anyway, and yes, I am a little bit biased, I think it is probably the best. I think GM is probably number 2, and I think that there are some others that may be number 3, and not necessarily Ford. So joining us now, Vincent Galante and Mr. Nick Kappa.
The Nick Kappa.
The famous Nick Kappa with FCA. Nick.
I'm not hearing them.
I'm not hearing them either. But so you guys just stand by for a second, because we're not hearing you guys, and it's probably something that we're doing on our end. But anyway, we're going to talk about the UConnect5 system, I hope. Are we able to do that, Mr. Mars? We've got multiple people here. Yeah, Jeff,
and none of us know what we're doing.
None of
it. This is new to us, so
no, it's new to you. It's not new to us. It's new to you.
Because you're the one responsible
for
this.
Jeff, why don't you put us back on, and while those two
Clearly
guys...
they can hear us because they're laughing at us.
Yeah, he can hear us.
We're struggling doing this.
Well, I'm not. I'm not struggling at all. Don't throw me in this pile of soup. I don't need this. So when you guys get it all figured out over there, then we'll continue with them. But, Conrad, for you and I know that you don't drive any of the press vehicles, and you drive a Ford. Mm-hmm. Does that van of yours, does it have a UConnect in it? I mean,
it has sync. It has sync, which is kind of a voice activated. There's not really a dashboard panel that tells you a lot, but you know, you voice command.
So when you bought it, you didn't upgrade to.
It didn't have it in the.
It didn't even offer it.
It didn't even offer it. But the sync program is Ford's infotainment system.
Right.
So I can talk to the radio. I can.
Does it have GPS in it?
No, it doesn't. But I use my phone, and my phone will talk to me through it. So
when you connect
to my phone,
you Bluetooth your phone.
It Bluetooths to my phone,
okay.
So I can get all of that interaction on my Apple to give me all of that stuff through the sound system in the truck. But it's not as I've watched you in the UConnect. It's not as interactive as that is. It's a little kind of like attaching something to the sync versus an integrated system within the Ford.
So it seems that you have a different perspective than I do, because one of the things that I do not do is I do not Bluetooth my car. I don't use. I have not Apple CarPlay. I have Android Auto. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't Bluetooth my phone to the car. I don't know why. I guess that I just don't do it.
Oh, it's funny because we do, even, because we go to California frequently enough to see the kids.
You drive?
No. But we'll fly into Fresno or Sacramento or San Francisco and get a rent car. And first thing we do when we get in the rent car is go ahead and Bluetooth.
That's me messing with you here.
Stop. That's, we Bluetooth into the rent car so we can get the phone to do all of the things through the rent car.
Uh-huh.
And that's generally pretty easy to do. We've done it enough times in all the different brands and stuff. You can kind of walk your way through it. But some of the higher-end stuff that the infotainment systems do can be rather confusing as you switch between brands, because everybody has their own way of doing it. Some of them want to use the Apple Play and Android, which is fine because that makes it a little bit more contiguous between brands. But then you get into some of them that don't use those platforms to do it, and then you kind of struggle to use all of those applications that are available to you through their infotainment system. And then I just go back to pushing buttons and turning knobs.
So Apple CarPlay works for you.
Apple CarPlay works for me. Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have any real
And
issues with it.
you did okay in learning the Apple CarPlay system.
Yeah.
Because it has its own system.
It has its own system, but there's a similarity in its functionality to what's coming up, to what comes up on the screen. And talking about potting something up is to bring up the sound coming from Mike's laptop so we can hear the guys from FCA talking to.
You guys hear us now?
Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay. Hey, guys.
Man, you guys are talking about those stands, and I actually have some of those in my garage. I gotta go and read some numbers off, man.
Well,
That's freaky.
you know, I have to tell you, Nick, it's all your fault. We're just going to blame it on you because I'm sure that your wife does and your kids do and everybody else does. So we're just going to jump in on that bandwagon too. It's all your fault.
I don't have any of those things you just listed, and I guess if there was a way for you to blame me for the welds, my brother would say, "Yep, it's him. It's definitely him."
There you go.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the problem is with the audio, but I can't do anything other than turn them on. So
Okay,
They're on.
Turn them on.
I know it just sounds funny, but at any rate, so Nick and Vincent Galante, we thank you so much. I know that you're going to go, who in the heck are these? These morons don't know anything of what they're doing down there in Houston, Texas. So, Vincent, thanks so much for joining us. Yeah, we really appreciate it. So, the FCA UConnect5 system. This is new for you guys.
It is. It's all new, and it's a great evolution of a system, the UConnect system that we're really proud of today.
And obviously, this has been years in the making, but it's all based on, obviously, the original UConnect that has evolved over the years. So what's different from with 5 from 4?
So I think the first thing it's going to be, you're going to notice how much more powerful it is. I mean, it is just lightning fast, and it's got a much faster computer in it, and you'll feel that when you're using it. You're going to see bigger screens with higher resolution in our cars. You're going to see some great new content like Alexa and Sirius 360L and TomTom navigation. You're going to see a lot more personalization, and you'll be able to create some of your own screens, have your own user profile. And I think all the things that our customers tell us that they love about how easy UConnect is to use, you're going to get all that new content, and it's going to be even easier to use. So
can I about the home screen? The home screen, that's like your favorite part.
The home screen's my favorite part. So, you know, most of the system is an evolution, but the home screen is all new. And what we really set out to do was give our customers the ability to create their own interface, because they know everybody's a little bit different, and they each have kind of certain features and functions that they like to use. So we wanted to make sure they had a place to put those all on one screen. And, you know, the thing, Nick and I talk about it all the time, but one of I would say the secrets to UConnect is you can kind of get anywhere you need to get in the system in 2 presses. So when we did the home screen, it's like, okay, we're going to take this challenge. What would it mean to get there in 1? And so I think it's a really great app in the car that I think everybody's going to love.
So it was two touches, and then you said, okay, so what would it take everybody to get there to 1? How did that conversation go?
Well, I think we're always striving just to continue to make it easier and continue to, you know, help our customers keep their eyes on the road. I mean, you know, there's a lot of benchmarking we do, and there's a lot of really great things out there and not just the automotive industry, but in some of the consumer electronics industry. And we do grab inspiration from that, but driving is different. It's different when you're driving. And I think the longer we can keep our customers' eyes on the road, the better. And if your eyes are going to be on the screen longer with 2 presses, you know, than they are with 1. So it was like, can we get them there faster? Can we get things done quicker? Can we make it easier? And that's really where it came from.
And some of that's just listening to your customer feedback as well and responding to what your consumers are telling you they want the system to do. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. And we listen, we get tons of, we do tons of research. We do tons of testing. The home screen, and Nick loves this story. I actually tested it on my whole family to make sure that it was the right thing. So my wife tried it, and my mom tried it, and even my kids. Granted, they're professional iPad users at this point, but my 6-year-old daughter was able to build her own interface and use it with like almost no instructions.
And still couldn't reach the pedals.
No, she can't. You know, not even close. So I think, we knew we had something special when we started seeing that kind of, ease of use, I would say.
So I have to ask how. Well, first of all, let me back up here before I get to the 12-inch screen in the Ram. How soon is this available? The UConnect5 system in the cars that you guys are turning out now? Is it all the new cars?
It'll be starting here this year with the 21 model year Pacifica.
Okay.
So that's where you'll see it first, and then over the course of time, we haven't announced all the products yet, but you'll start to see that. That was something, one of the other things we talk about with UConnect is, FCA, we have such cool brands. I mean, as a designer, it's so much fun to work on all the different. I mean, we can work on Alfa Romeos, we can work on Jeeps, we work on Pacificas, Challengers, all these different cars, right? And so we had to make sure we built a system that not only worked across those in an efficient way, but also that really played to the strengths of each of those vehicles, because they're really different. So you'll start to see that over time proliferate into some other cars, but Pacifica will be first.
Does it look different to the users
across the different brands?
Yes. So it'll look different because the screens are bigger and higher resolution. That'll be the first thing. But the graphics on the screen are a bit cleaner than, and more simple than what they are in the current system. And we did that on purpose because it's been trends in consumer electronics to have those simpler graphics. But the benefit of it is they're lighter file sizes. So we gave it a faster computer. We designed the graphics in a way that are smaller file size, so it helps it be even faster. And then when you talk about each of the different brands, we've used different colors, textures, backgrounds, and really, I think something, technology interfacing with the interior design of the cars. We put a ton of effort into the interiors of our cars to make them, the color and materials, the way they feel, the way they look. And we don't want the technology to look out of place. It wants to harmoniously fit with the interior. So making, having the adjustability in those colors and even in the different screen sizes that we're going to offer, really it's about creating this experience in the vehicle that is consistent, whether it's a physical part or if it's digital.
I just had a little streak of jealousy come over me going, what a cool job this guy's got. You suck.
Exactly. So here's another one of my favorite pieces is you have 5 different profiles that you can have in the system. So Mike, sometimes Don gets in your car and he screws it up because he's like 8 feet tall, messes with the pedals and everything else. So you got a button for you. You touch that button, all your settings go back, including your radio station, not just the creature features, but everything goes right back to where it was. You can do that 5 different profiles of the system. That
is so cool. Well, that's a first. I've never heard of that. I guess I'm going to have to get Kimberly to get me a Pacifica as soon as the new UConnect5 is in the Pacifica down here.
Yeah,
we'll line you up with that, man. You know it's coming. Before the end of the year.
Yeah. So not only do you have a neat job, apparently you're a pretty cool computer geek as well. Has this been a whole part of your life? I mean, I guess that you've grown up with computers since you were a child.
I do love technology, and actually I have when we started designing the system, we're seeing so much change in the automotive industry. I mean, you guys mentioned the big screen in the Ram, the 12-inch screen in the Ram, and that's really, it's a traditional segment. And to see that kind of transformation and those sorts of things pop up there, we said, man, this is something, something's happening here. So, in the design office, we're always a few years ahead of what's on the market. And so the first thing we did is build up the team and build up the team with all different skill sets. So I've tripled the amount of designers I used to have. And some of them have gaming and entertainment backgrounds. Some of them have web and mobile backgrounds. Some of them have psychology backgrounds. We have people that have masters in human-computer interaction. So I'm supported by a whole team of computer geeks.
From different points of view, it sounds like.
With all different points of view. And, my background is more traditional car designer background. So, I can bring some of that, I've just always had a love for cars and a love for making things. So with that in combination with all the diversity that we have in the studio, I think it allows us to make some really great things.
So at some point, the car is going to be able to see what I think.
We're working on that right now. We gotta wait for it. It's coming.
And
it'll be part of the hovercraft Grand Cherokee that's coming next.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, Nick, the reason that Nick doesn't have any hair because his brain is trying to come out of his head. That's it. Hey, it's great to talk to you guys, and we really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about the UConnect system. Of course, Texas being the #1 truck capital of the entire world, Ram is a huge part of it. You see more and more of them on the streets every day, and we're not talking about the work truck kind. We're talking about the one that you can take to the symphony or your favorite country concert.
Nice truck. Yeah, I like that.
Well, you guys are great. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your Saturday to talk to us. We really appreciate it. Vincent Galante and Nick Kappa, God bless you. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Great weekend. See you later.
Right, you do the same. All right.
Bye.
Oh, my gosh.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
That is. I had no clue. Did you?
Well, no, to see his range of engineers that he brings in to develop the system as opposed to the same people doing it over and over again. They're bringing that knowledge to the system through all of these different disciplines to make the system that much smarter.
Can you imagine walking into that office? You know what you're going to see?
I'm going to see a
bunch of 22-year-olds in there.
Yeah. I'll see a bunch of smart people, and I'm going to sit there with my head down and just kind of listen for a while.
And sneak around.
I do that anyhow.
You do that. Yeah, exactly. So
We're not going